The voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call.
Hey, you are now tuned in to the voice of reason. The big humble self is your host this evening. ZoWilliams, man of many topics. Talk about everything, ain't nothing out of pocket. Religion and music to maximizing profit. How to tell if your relationship is toxic. If you're on the wrong path, we can stop it. Knowledge is like the beat and we drop it. So tune in and get you some wisdom. From square guests to niggas that's just out of prison. So whether you're saint, sinner, or heathen, get you some grown game from the voice of reason.
Yeah. It's Monday. That's like a yawn. Yeah. Hey, let that shit bang. What? Yup. Today's topic is going to be crazy. Welcome back to the Voice of Reason. Listen, it's 5 p.m. on the West, 8 p.m. on the East. This is what we do. Relationship topics galore. You know, I love just churning the pot, getting people to think, right? Today's topic is no exception to the rule. Hey, what is that? What music is that? I like that.
Turn up. Oh, yeah, it's Future.
Yeah.
You just...
I just don't be knowing the names of shit, you know, but I love it. Listen, it's Hot Button Radio, the voice of reason on Dash Radio. The number to dial here, because this is a caller-driven show, 844-55-1. If this is your first time tuning in, please understand that this is the voice of reason. The voice of reason deals with everything relationships. The topics are all over relationship. We're not afraid to talk about anything as it pertains to relationship. We can make any topic relationship-based. And like I said, today is no exception to the rule. Here is something that I think is very important that we need to cover. There are a lot of relationships out there that are struggling because they don't have a clear understanding of this one word. Ugh, Jesus. Respect. Yikes. And I often say, I mentioned this in my relationship book, the Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. Only 225 physical copies left. Go to my website right now, I am ZoWilliams, and purchase one of the final copies. You order it today, I mail it out tomorrow. But like I say in that book about respect should be relationships' religion. But the reason why it isn't is because far too many people don't understand what respect is. They have varying definitions of it. It's very subjective. So today's topic, what's your definition of respect? An in-depth look at moral ambiguity and the search for respect. Yikes. How crazy is this going to be? I don't know. But my team is in the building right now. We've got Flower Child, Wild, Realionaires. She's in the building. Y'all know who she is. It's Team Tabor. Say what's up.
What up? Happy Monday, Voice of Reason. What's good? Man, I'm excited. This is probably one of my favorite Mondays because guess what?
What?
The Hawks are about to murder the Lions today, so I'm excited for Monday Night Football. You already know.
You mean the Tryons? Because
hey, congrats to Kaepernick. I think he beat a record for throwing the most interceptions in a game or something, or since 1920. I don't know. My facts are a little off, but shout out to the 40 Niners.
No, I see you. Just 3 years of winning makes you talk shit, right?
Hey, that's what's happening. Look, 5 years of you guys sucking, you still think you're the best. I don't know how it's,
cool.
It's good though.
You guys got one title, right?
It's all good, yeah.
Get 4 more and get in the conversation. Now,
I ain't gonna say nothing because my team is the Bears. Shout out to Chicago.
Aarona Lopez in the building. What up, Aarona?
Hey, back in the flesh. It is good. I missed you guys.
Yes.
I miss you.
Been gone a while.
Bunches and bunches. I love you guys.
I love you.
Yeah. Guys, it's good to be back. Up in here talking about some RESPECT.
We need to know what it means. Listen, Veronica Conway is on the line as well. VC.
Family, how is everyone?
Yes.
What up?
ABC, what up?
What up? So
Veronica.
let me do this really quickly. We're talking about respect, and I want to just run off some questions. Listen, if you're going through this, don't be afraid to call us and share your insight, your perspective. We are all ears. We want to know. What are the hardwired universal rules of respect? Are there any? Some people say, the golden rule, treat people as you wish to be treated. Right? Why do disrespectful people demand so much respect? They be the loudest ones. You gonna respect me. Right? Why is it that way? The disrespectful people be asking for respect. That's crazy. Do most people respect money and power more than they respect other human beings? If so, why? Could the varying personal definitions of respect be the main cause of interpersonal conflict? Your definition of respect differs from mine. I can't see your version of respect. You can't see and or comprehend mine. So therefore, we're at an impasse. Right? What is respect? Jesus, I want to know. 844-55-1. Why is it so difficult for some people to respect other people? Why is it such a task? Why is it the Mount Everest of mental accomplishments just to respect other people? It's crazy. Oh, Jesus, this is crazy. Do today's children respect their parents less than the kids of 20 years ago? How does pride and ego corrupts one ability to respect others? Oof. Heavy questions, 844-55-1. How do you respect your mentors today? How should you? Should you learn from somebody and then be like, fuck you, nigga. I got what I needed. I'm out. A lot of people are like that, right? It's crazy. I want to know what you guys think. 844-55-1. Veronica Conway, your ideation of respect, please.
Well, I think it has to do with admiring someone. It's beyond just being polite. And I think in our society, we've lost a sense of civility in a certain way. I think, between sort of the online comment culture where you feel like you can hide behind a keyboard and, take shots, people get more and more removed from you. We get more and more isolated from each other. So I think with that, civility has broken down quite a bit. But I think respect, that's just been a breakdown, I think, in general. But I think that respect infers some sort of admiration for the person that goes even beyond being civil. And, I think you have to think about who honestly deserves that. Like, who do you look at, do you watch, do you see that actually is worthy of your admiration? I think in celebrity culture with the Kardashians of the world and all that, I think that that's really eroding because there's not a lot to respect out here.
That's good shit. Hey, Whitney, what's your definition? What's your definition of it?
My definition, I guess, would be basically knowing what you value and appreciating somebody else's. Like, I wrote it down. Let me go into my notes because respect is really hard because it's different from everybody else's perspective. So it's almost hard to respect other people's respect. But I guess I was writing down. I was saying it's like basically treating and valuing somebody else higher than yourself, almost like.
But you know what? It's a different culture. Let me just say this. It's a different culture. When I was young, a motherfucker who teaching you something, you shut up. You listen. And the only time you interrupt is if you have a question that furthers your instruction. And then after you learned whatever the teacher taught you and you know what he knows, you still revere him for the very fact that he shared it with you. Right? Like some of the greatest spiritual axioms that I've ever come across came from my big mama. Now, I was a disrespectful little kid. No question about it. Which is why she, at the end of her life, was, that last quote was, who would have thought that the devil would have been Big Mama's angel? Because I was bad as shit as a kid, but as I evolved and as I matured, I came into the understanding like, wow, I was disrespectful and I needed to be respectful of this woman because she dropped mad game, right? Like when I go back and take inventory of what she said and over the years that I had a chance to interact with her, I was like, wow, you feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So for me, the way kids are today is, and I'm going to say people, they're more usury. They'll be up under you to get what you know, but they don't really appreciate or respect you. So they get what you know, they get your resources, and then they disrespect you on their way out the door. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. We were taught, if somebody is teaching you something of value that's helping to mold you and change you and evolve you as a person, you show them respect, which is regard. Respect, regard, consideration. You consider, man, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the knowledge that was imparted by that person. That's my ideation. Aarona?
I agree. I also agree with Veronica. I feel like respect has a form of humility. It's about being humble. When you respect somebody, you humble yourself to them. You feel as though not necessarily that they're above you, but they just deserve your undivided attention. For me, I consider respect to be someone treating me with kindness, but they have consideration of my feelings, they value my opinions, and they actually hear me. And, not just listen to me, but they actually hear me, which means, sometimes people can listen to you, but they patronize you. Sometimes people can listen to you, but they're listening to you to be polite, but they're really in the story
they're listening
in their head.
For what they're trying to get.
Or listening for their turn to talk.
Right. Yes. But
But
I see it as disrespectful when you're just listening for your own agenda.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to go back to Whitney. But this is why I believe my oldest son, is in the position he is in today, because I taught him, listen, when somebody is talking to you, I don't give a fuck if you don't like them. If they're talking to you and sharing valuable information with you, you take your feelings out of it. And you lock in and you get that information. Let me give you a perfect example in literary terms. I always mention this book, Power versus Force, Dr. David R. Hawkins. In that book, I told you he has this sliding spiritual scale that's based on a numerical system. He said, we talked about, the bottom of that scale is grief. But then the top of that scale is like self-realization, godhood, all of this and that, right? Mm-hmm. So grief is measured at 50, but that the highest is 1,000. He said, I don't care if the information is coming from the devil. If it vibrates at over 500, which is love, you should listen.
Right.
You should listen.
Absolutely.
And see, people don't understand that. Like, even if it's coming from somebody that you don't respect or revere, if it has power, if it is the truth, you have to be objective when receiving it.
Well, Puffy said, your emotions are how you broke. So, to quote the great master Sean Combs, great philosopher Sean Diddy Combs, he said, your emotions are how you broke.
Oh.
Take your emotions out of it.
My thing with respect is, where's the line, I guess, drawn as far as respect goes? Because people, we're brought up saying we have to respect our parents. We have to listen to everything. We talked about it on the last show, where there's a turning point in people's lives where you listen to everything your parents say, you do everything that they have taught you, and then there comes a time where you're like, okay, now I'm old enough and I have the knowledge. Now it's time for me to fly the coop and do my own thing.
Oh, that's a great question.
You know what I mean? So how.
I have a perfect example. When I turned 17, I told my mother, hey, no more Christianity for me. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace, I'm out.
Right? Because when I was 17 in the 11th grade, I heard Public Enemy. And that was the first time I ever heard Farrakhan's voice. And I was like, I got to find out who that dude is. You dope dealer, using your fame as a DJ to sell drugs. I said, oh, God damn. Who? And it's rap? Okay, who is that? So I went, looked up Farrakhan and started studying. But I never studied the Nation of Islam. Even though I respected those brothers, I studied Farrakhan. I was like, I'm not going to join. Oh, but I'm going to study this. Then I went on to actual, and no disrespect to the Nation of Islam, I went on to Orthodox Islam, right? And I studied. But I knew my mother didn't like that. And she would always say, I raised you as a Christian. You can't undo Christianity. You were saved when you were 9, and that don't ever go away, baby. Right? And for a minute, because you know how you get when you learn some new shit. Now all of a sudden you're a professor at it.
You're an expert.
You're an expert, and you always see, Mom, Jesus spoke Arabic. So whenever he said peace be unto you, he was saying assalamu alaikum. You understand? Even Jesus was Islamic. See, right here, they kneeling and praying and they bowing like the Muslims do. You getting it wrong. And I recognize, like, it's not your place to tell your mama that. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? That's a kind of respect. Even though you don't agree with Mom, even though you're not taking what she has to say about anything, you thinking for yourself again, it's still not your place to kind of reprimand her and teach her. And I learned that at 19. I was like, okay, no more arguing with Mom. Mm-hmm. Just speak her language. And what I found was easy was speaking Christianity to her. And I speak Christianity. She was good. She was good. See, now that's right, baby. Do unto others, mother. Yes. Hallelujah, son. And it was all good. But it was still in alignment with what I was learning. So my thing is, like Whitney just said, at what point do you say, I don't listen to parents anymore? You don't have to listen to them in order to respect them.
You still have to respect them.
You still got to respect them.
Sometimes you just got to say, yeah, okay. Like,
yeah,
you
okay.
right.
Yeah.
You can get a whole lot done with a you right. Marriages have been saved all over the world over you right. Just say you right.
Veronica, you right.
I don't think you have to. I think we collapse respect and agreement. Right? That's a lot of the conflict with parents, because as you come of age, right, it's like there's a misconception that agreement is respect, and it's not the same thing. Agreement means I authentically agree, and I should have a choice about whether to agree or disagree. Respect means I honor you, I admire you, I value you, I consider you, your feelings, right? As a human being or as my parent, regardless. And so I think that's where it gets confusing, because I don't think that respect and agreement are the same thing at all.
Oh, wow.
I agree. It's not the same thing.
That's
but
hot.
Would you agree that in order to show certain people respect, you have to agree? You know what I'm saying? Because some people, that's what it's going to take for them to, get their issues resolved, especially if they're thinking on a certain level. Sometimes people can't even hear what is right over wanting to be right. So if you just give them the you right, then they calm down, they ease up, and you can still, you know what I mean? The conversation can flow from there.
Wow.
Or you can say, I understand. Which is different.
I understand.
We agree to disagree. That's one I guess I use. Like, I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I don't get what you're saying. But I respect it, though.
People are hip to agree to disagree, though. They know that you don't really agree, and then sometimes that can throw the fire on it.
But to me, that's okay. If I don't agree with what Zoe is saying, we still have mutual respect for each other.
Right.
It's just, what you're saying to me, I'm not really catching it. So, hey, it is what it is. You do you, I'm going to do me. Like, it's still respect there, though.
But how much of let's agree to disagree really deals with intransigence? Inflexibility.
You gotta speak English.
I'm just saying, inflexibility and rigidity.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck what you saying. I'm fucking with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Period. And it goes back to rightalism. It's about me being right. And you could say some shit that makes sense, but still, I don't care.
This is the one that kills me. This is if that's what you want to think what you want to think, like in the middle of an argument. Well, you going to think what you want to think anyway. Yeah, but that's not the issue. The issue is what I'm bringing to you, not about what I'm thinking. But you going to think what you want to think. You know what I mean?
Right.
That and agree to disagree sometimes falls on that same wavelength. It doesn't really solve the problem or get to the issue.
Right.
It just kind of stops the conversation.
It actually stifles it. It stops it right there because everybody just digs their heel in. So let me just say this. The phone lines are open, 844-55-1. If you're going through a disagreement struggle, right, in your relationship, or a respect struggle, if you feel disrespected in your relationship and you want to share your story, please call us at 844-55-1. Do brothers and sisters respect men and women of other ethnicities more than they respect each other?
Oh, you Scarface fans.
Listen, no, I say this shit all the time. I say this all the time. Brothers and sisters respect other people more. They respect the guy who signs their check more. Mm-hmm. You could give a person a high-powered opportunity, and if you a brother and they see you on the same level as themselves, they don't respect you. But if you get the same opportunity from a white man, they will shut their fucking mouth and do exactly what he says to do for fear of losing that opportunity. When when the same opportunity is given to them by a brother, there's just too much of a sense of familiarity. And they feel like it's all good. I can always, that's my homie. No. And that's my homie causes them to lose respect for the opportunity. In my opinion, 844-55-1. If you want to chime in, let me know. We got Atlanta in the building. Line 3, Terrence.
Want to chime in? Let me know. We got Atlanta in the
Hey, you got to turn your radio down, bro.
I'm like, wow, he sounds just like you. That's crazy.
Turn your radio down, bro. I'm like, wow, he sounds just like you. That's crazy.
Can you hear me?
You got to turn that radio down, bro.
Yo, Zo.
Yo, what's up, man? I can hear you, but you got to turn your radio down. There's feedback, bro.
Yo, what's up, man? I can hear you, but you got to turn your radio down.
Turn it down, brother.
Oh, nah, this the internet line, man. But
Turn
this,
it down, brother.
damn.
You got to turn them speakers off or something, brother. Turn your computer down. Turn your whole house down.
Just close the laptop.
Oh, and did he hang up? Wait a second. Is that the I hung up line?
Okay,
Yeah,
that was
and
disrespect right there.
No, I'm just saying, man, people are hella disrespectful. Hella disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, first off, the sense of entitlement
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
makes people disrespectful too. Nobody's entitled to help you. Nobody's entitled to put you in a position, right? Or you're not entitled for people to put you in a position. You're not entitled for somebody to help you get to where you're trying to go. And if somebody so happens to bump into your ass and turns out to be a stepping stair to the next phase of your existence, you should be appreciative. Period.
48 laws of power. Rule number 1.
What's rule number 1 in the 48 laws of power?
Never outshine the master.
Oh, wow.
You stay in your place. You let the master be the master at all times.
It's a great book. That's a great book.
It's a great book.
But it's a new generation who feels like, nigga, fuck you. You need me.
Yeah.
I made this opportunity for you. No, that's not how it works. We have to fucking, in my opinion, get a universal code of what respect is. I want to know what you guys think respect should be. We already know what it is subjectively to you personally, but like, for instance, a universal code of respect amongst men is firm handshake, look me in the eye, right? When men shake each other's hand and one dude gives him the limp noodle hand, you little limp noodle, give him the limp noodle hand right off the top, a sense of respect is lost. Because we like, this nigga is soft. This is butter pecan Rican over here, right? So there's like a universal, or even when we fight, you know, there's a universal, okay, you whooped his ass, that's enough, and let it be. And I'm talking about men of a particular generation. The youth, the young boys in our community now is, I'm going to kill you. which shows a lack of respect for life itself. So there's no teachable moment in I'm going to kill you other than don't fuck with that little nigga with the gun. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when you take the gun away from that dude, what respect is in him? Do you understand what I'm this is why we got to take hold of this situation and turn this thing around. The number to dial is 844-55-1. Aarona?
Respect is actually one of the cornerstones of existence. I forget where I heard this, but it's like we all have 5 basic needs in life, with the need of love, the need of belonging, the need of improvement, to feel like our life is improving, we're making progress in some way, the need for respect. Mm-hmm. And I forget what the 5th one is, but let's go with the respect, because that was one of them. And they were saying everybody requires or demands respect, but depending on, your education level or where you are in life, you'll go through different means to get that. If you're from, lower education, your first inkling to get respect is to grab a gun, and from scale of 1 to 10, how quickly do you respect me? Well, pretty damn quick. You got a gun. But, if you're on another level, you're like, well, I need a degree for you to respect me. I need a PhD for you to respect me.
Good point.
I need the title for you to respect me. If you're a woman, you know what I'm saying? You feel like you need to necessarily, depending on what type of woman you are, I need to have the boobs. I need to have the body for you to respect me. I need to have the package for you to look at me and know that I am woman. If you're another woman.
Or disrespect. I feel like a lot more disrespect's coming from that.
Well, no, it just depends on what type of woman you are, because there's some women that just feel like all you got to do is be sweet as pie, baby. And you can get what you want and get what you need. Then there's other women that's like, I need my money right.
Ooh, let's just, now we're digging into some meat and potatoes.
I had a question too, is you asked if we idolize, Black people idolize other races over ourselves. And I said, I feel like people respect money over people all day.
Off top, people respect money way. If a dude comes in, both of us come in, and this Mikey has more money than me, they're going to seat him at the restaurant before me off top, because it's known that he has more money than me.
Yep. And to go back to the 48 laws of power, I forgot law 16. Law 16 is use absence to increase honor and respect. See, let me tell you something. Robert Greene was an old school pimp, all right? Robert Greene had game. He was well-read, just knew everything. Like that book, one of my favorites in that book is Assume Formlessness. Right? Because if you become one with the atmosphere and you don't really develop, like you said, rigidity. Did I say it right?
Mm-hmm, rigidity.
Hey, I'm trying to learn here, y'all. Pray for me. I'm getting my vocabulary together. If you're not rigid, you know what I'm saying? You can weather the storm. You can adapt to situations. You can increase your survival, increase your knowledge. You can pretty much go anywhere you want, do anything you want, because you ain't stepping on nobody's toes.
So let's do this another way.
Okay.
Humility and respect go hand in hand.
You got that look in your eye.
Right?
Uh-oh.
Humility and respect go hand in hand. Why? Let me even go deeper than that. Being a student and humility goes hand in hand.
Yes.
I'm going to go even deeper. Being a teacher and humility go hand in hand. See, you have to be humble to say, I have this mind in my hand. I have this spirit in my hand. So it takes a certain level of appreciation and humility to even say, okay, I can teach this person, or I can. And teaching is really sharing, because a lot of times egoically you be like, nigga, I taught you. It's not that. It's really, I pointed at something and you looked at it and you took responsibility for what you saw. Right? So there's a certain level of humility that's there. The problem with us is we lack humility, but yet we want to be revered. Please understand, respect and reverence, they come from the same root. Right?
That's deep.
This goes back to, would you rather be feared or loved? The word fear and revere, reverend, respect, reverie, they all come from the same word. So a reverend is to be feared because he's connected more so to God than you are. He's the intercessor. That's why they're called reverend. You are to revere him. So my question is, when it comes to respect, is it easier to just have a motherfucker scared of you? Because when people respect their boss, like Whitney said, they don't respect him, the person. They respect the position. This motherfucker will end my job if I don't show him the proper respect. Now, my question to all of you, and this goes back to that original question, do black people respect people of other ethnicities more than we do each other? Because most of us are, I ain't going to give that away. Whitney?
Yes, because most black people are under the umbrella of another race because they're all CEOs and running the country. So, yeah, we respect the money, which is not what we're supposed to be doing in this world. That's why we're all twisted and backed up, is because we value money, i.e. respect, over each other.
I agree with that. I think we even take the bad habit of making our heroes or our big examples. I don't know what I'm losing my vocabulary. I'm jet lagged, y'all. Forgive
It's cool.
me.
I know.
We're trying to make our examples out of people who have reached the heights of places that we haven't seen. For example, like Scarface, what I put out earlier. Like, you got so many black people like quoting Scarface, pictures of Al Pacino, all kind of artifacts and stuff like that from the film when he was a fictional character and he was an Italian playing a Puerto Rican. You have so many people who, grew up in the 70s, black women wanting to be Marilyn Monroe, Wonder Woman, and those type of archetypes. Archetypes was the word I was looking for. I was going to find it. You just got to be patient with me. So,
I love you.
But yeah, like our archetypes, we don't have enough archetypes that are rooted in our culture. I'll say that. The archetypes that we have, or a lot of times that are fed to us that we model ourselves after, they tend to be European or, something besides ourselves.
That's some bullshit. Listen. Can we admit that we live in the no fucks given culture?
Yeah.
So in living in this culture, I think we cut our potential off. See, back in the day, you had to give a fuck if you wanted to get somewhere, right? Because you remember those old sayings? The same people you diss going up the ladder,
you see them on the way down.
You gonna see them motherfuckers on the way down. And how you treated them then is gonna determine if they prevent your descent. Because if you treat them with respect, when maybe they're the teacher and you're the student, right? If you treat them with respect then, when you're naturally coming back down the ladder and they're naturally rising up the ladder, they'll be like, yo, that one right there looked out. Let me slow your descent. Let me slow you down and make this a plateau for you. This is the lowest you gonna go because I'm on my way up and we can come back up together. I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it. We got callers. I want to go to line 3, Atlanta. T, you're on the line. Speak to me, bruh.
Yo, Zo. I'm about that life at Twitter. This me. I bought your book, man.
Good looking, brother. I appreciate it. Much respect, bro.
Oh, definitely. I also called a couple minutes ago. It's bad reception out here in Georgia, man. You got to give me an AT&T on pass, man. I don't think I'm going to disrespect you on your own show, brother.
I got you, brother. It's all good, fam.
All right. But just to touch base also, this me, T, I'm about that life Twitter with the 38-year-old. Let me give you a follow-up. Now, if one thing that I can say, I'm 23, she's 38, and I messed up by what you're talking about today, and that's respect. I did some very, very young-minded stuff by not respecting her and going through her stuff. But me, I told her I did it. Yeah, it was something that was, a little minor. We got past it. But now, I'm starting over a little bit with the whole trust and respect because I messed up in a way. And like you and Bobby had said probably a couple shows ago, that can be one thing that can mess up a relationship is not respecting each other and giving people their privacy. And if you got something good going on, just keep it there and don't, get too much into it.
Man, let me just say, brother, I appreciate it. Thank you for calling and sharing that information. We want to hear more from you, like the brother T. He just called in and shared it. How many times have you disrespected your partner and they let you slide? How many times you disrespected them and they stood up to you and then you tried to fight back because you didn't like the way they stood up to you? Negative reciprocity as a cycle, right? You disrespected them, but then they came back and was like, hell no, you don't get to disrespect me. And then you get mad because of their tone and delivery. How much does tone and delivery have to do with disrespect? Yeah, this is crazy. It does. Plays a huge part. Hey, T, we appreciate the call, man. Thanks again. Call anytime, man. The number to dial is 844-55-1. We appreciate it. Veronica, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. And I want to circle back for just a minute to the whole piece about culture and how respect plays out in the culture. Because I think that the more brutal your environment is, the more rigid the rules and the more neediness around respect. So, for example, my dad's been in prison for 40-something years, right? He's a former Black Panther. And I've talked to him at length about how, in the penitentiary, you look at somebody sideways, you could get shanked. But the rules, because it's such a close environment, the rules are so much more rigid. But then you go to the street, right, and still, why are you looking at me like that? So we get real needy in our culture about the accoutrements of respect, like the gestures of it. But listen, if you go to the boardroom, right, where white folks are, they are very polite, but they only respect money. And they don't need all the gestures and all the reaction about why you looking at me, because they understand that respect isn't about how you looking at me. It's about something much bigger. And I think that because we've just been in such destructive environments, and that our sensitivity about what respect is really overblown because we haven't gotten enough of it in the world.
That's good. That's good. Whitney?
No, that makes sense because as soon as I moved to Los Angeles, I grew up, like I said, I grew up in a town of 1,200 people. Everybody I knew, everybody. Everybody's related. I'm Native American. I'm Makah from Washington State. So in our culture, you respect your elders. Like my grandma, if we have a family dinner, I will get up and make my grandmother's plate and bring it to her before anybody else eats or anybody else's grandma, not just mine. So then moving to a bigger city where that's not just common knowledge was really hard for me to adapt to respect, because honestly, some people would take me respecting somebody or dealing with, because sometimes respecting is dealing with some stuff, man, I wanted to eat first too, but I got to feed grandma first, man. That's just how it works. So dealing with some things maybe you don't want to deal with, people would take that as weakness. And I looked at it as respect. You know what I mean? So I guess, like I said, Veronica brought up the culture, but my thing is, a question I had, again, was we all have different definitions. We all had crazy different definitions for respect. So how can we ever be disrespected? Maybe that's how they learned how to respect somebody, by learning and then moving on with whatever they were doing. Like, to me,
that's what you're saying, making the mistake.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, that was just
I think it also depends on the atmosphere. Like what you're talking about, respecting your elders. I respect all my elders, except in traffic. I don't respect you in traffic. Move your slow ass out the way. I'm sorry.
Get your ass out the fast lane, punk.
Come on now. Especially you, because you've been driving for 50, 60 years. You got your license at 16. You know that slower cars need to keep right. What the hell you doing over here in the super pass lane? I need you to move.
Well, they think but that's the thing is, you ever met an old person and they just be talking trash? They be just rude, mean, and you're like, whoa. And then you're like, well, I can't wait to be old because I could just be disrespectful to everybody, because we have to let them do that because they've lived this long.
You know what? I remember.
I'm just saying, old people.
I remember going back to Chattanooga for the first time. since I left when I was a kid, to visit my foster father and mother. And my foster father was well in his 80s, but he was still driving. And the last time I was in a car with him, I was 5. When I went back, I was 27. Right? Now, he died, a few months after my visit.
Why everybody die around you?
Shit, he was old. He was old.
85 is
They
old.
both was old. God damn, they was old. But just to speak to your old people driving, the driver of your car is old when he looks at another car and go, I ain't never seen purple like that. I said, what are you talking about? He said, purple ain't never looked like that. I don't know how they get cars and the colors to look the way they look. He was marveling off of the paint job. He was like, purple don't supposed to look like that. I said, this nigga is old.
That is hilarious.
Because the purple he used to, it don't even look like that. He said, look at the purple on that car. Purple ain't supposed to look like that. It's too brilliant. I said, God, this motherfucker is old.
Man, shout out to my grandfather, Maurice. He turning 85 next month, and he's still driving.
Yeah.
But I will give him credit. He a good driver for 85.
My friend's grandma was 94 whipping in Portland.
You feel
just
me?
dipping through. I'm like, yo.
Nah, that's disrespectful.
And
She was killing it, though, too. She was killing it. Look, she was
killing it.
Yes.
No offense. Love you, Grandma.
And maybe that's why I have no patience for like older people who can't drive. Because if they 84, 95 whipping it in the streets like they whipping work, what's your excuse?
Man.
Get the hell out the fast lane.
I'm just saying.
I got to go to work.
Listen, I want to go to this caller before we take a break. I want to go to line 4, Joe from Houston. Joe, you're on the phone. Speak to us, brother.
How y'all doing?
We all right, Joe.
Hey, boo.
Hey, boo. Yeah, stop. I think respect is ever changing because in America, respect seems to be different for different cultures, different races, and different generations. And, some people could be killers and they respect that. Some people could be pastors and they respect that. But if you change the race on it, not so respectable. We respect Jesus, but they didn't act like they respected him by crucifying him. We say we respect Malcolm X, but we don't act like we respect him by the way we treat each other. So we can respect Christopher Columbus.
Wow. Okay. All right. I can smoke a bag of that. I can smoke a bag of that. Hey, brother Joe, you know what? You always drop a few jewels when you call in from Houston, brother. We really appreciate it. Listen, if you want to bring your city into the building, get to the phone lines right now, 844-55-1. We want to know your definition of respect. Hey, Joe just dropped it on us. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go back to the phone lines. We're going to continue our conversation on your definition of respect. Get at me. I'll see you in a second. Yeah, that Jack Herrera be banging. Yo, I'm back in the building. Voice of Reason, ZoWilliams, Hot Button Radio. Dash Radio, the number to dial is 844-55-1. We're talking about respect. What's your definition of it? It's such a subjective topic. What you think is respect, someone else may not see as respect. What you think is disrespect, someone else may disagree with altogether. That's not disrespect. I mean, Jesus, that's par for the course. What is disrespect to you? Somebody call us and let us know. Are you in a disrespectful relationship? If you are, call us and let us know what it is. Does everyone deserve respect? What are the criteria for saying, no, you don't deserve any respect? Somebody should get at me with that one, 844-55-1.
Fellas. I want to hear the fellas on that.
And then the next, I want to hear from women as well. And then the next step is, how does one earn your respect? Aarona, how does somebody get your respect right now? 3 things.
Compliments. Compliments always work. But asking me what is important to me, like with sincerity though, not in a phony way, like asking me what's important to you and really listening, making eye contact and listening and just, being kind. That would be respect in that moment.
Wow. I like that. What are your 3, Whitney?
Mine would also be kindness, willingness to listen to what I have and like give me the time to actually say what I need to say. And then also their feedback. Like I respect like knowledge, I guess, or guidance would be another one. But
I like that.
yeah.
Veronica?
I'm with Whitney on and Aarona around the piece about hearing me, because if they're too in their own head to hear me, then I have no connection to them. Because I tend to be a very deep listener to other people, but if they can't actually hear me and hear even the context or the subtext of what I'm talking about, then I have a hard time with that. So if they can really hear me, then I value that. I have respect for people who've accomplished some shit and paid some dues in this life. I really do. Like me, if you're sitting around like as a newbie and you're a non-curious newbie, for example, right? I've had people come to me a lot, mentor me about this and mentor me about that, but they don't really want to hear the feedback. Usually wisdom comes from hard-earned battle scars, and so if I always say, newbies have opinions, veterans have battle scars. Like,
Ooh.
Sheesh, Veronica.
God damn.
I agree. I don't respect silver spoon people that ain't been through nothing.
She done pulled her brain out of her head and pistol whipped somebody with it.
Everybody.
God damn.
Well, that's how I feel.
Shit.
That's how I feel about Drake. Everybody hates Drake and think you ain't been from the streets. You didn't come from the bottom at all. So everybody hates on him. And I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, but you don't know his struggle. Maybe having to learn French when he was younger was his struggle. Like, I don't know.
Hey,
but let me just say this.
With hoes. That's enough.
Let me give you my 3 plus 1.
Get them.
Like Veronica said, I fucking hate the know-it-all newbie. Like you ain't been through nothing to be telling somebody who's been through it all, who's walked the journey, and you saying, "Oh no, don't go that way." Well, I've already been here. This is your first time even seeing this road.
How about it?
Shut your mouth. See, like if we go to Africa, let's go to Africa, the Dogon tribe, right, of Mali. The Dogon tribe of Mali. If you do some research on them, even scientists are saying, how the fuck do they know where Sirius B is? And Sirius A, B, and C. These shits ain't perceptible from the ground with the naked eye. How do they know the elliptical pathways of these particular stars? How do they know? You got Western scientists always there. Within that culture of the Dogon tribe, the priest is called the Hogan. Can't nobody say nothing or touch him. If you touch him, he's defiled. You can't touch the Hogan, let alone talk to him. Now, when he talk to you, your job is to do what?
Shut your mouth.
Shut your fucking mouth and listen. Let me give you another version of a Hogan priest in the music industry. That would be Quincy Jones. I met Quincy Jones through Kool Mo D on about 5 or 6 occasions. We go to his house. I'm always there with Mo D, and we just sit and listen. We just sit and listen. That motherfucker, he the type of dude where when he start talking, there's not a lot of room for you to talk. You just listen. And the information that comes out of his, who am I to say, Quincy Jones, you don't know what the fuck the music industry is doing? Right? You understand? Number one in Grammy noms, number one in Grammy wins, 72 nominations, 29 Grammy wins, produced everything from jazz, orchestra, classical, pop, biggest record ever sold. Listen, now he's humble enough to say, listen, the young bloods got it now. I don't know what the fuck they doing. Do you see how the pendulum swings? When it comes to respect, right? It's consideration. Like when you look up that word respect, you know what it means? You know what it means? From its Latin root, it means to look back. To look back is to consider. How did I get here? Let me look back. Let me show the proper respect, right? Something paved a way. Let me look back. Most people, especially this new no fucks to give generation, they don't look back enough. They don't respect how they got here. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Is that Sankofa? Is that like, do y'all know what Sankofa means?
Speak on it then. Let's hear it.
I believe.
I know what it means, but I want to hear you.
Well, I'm asking because I know that y'all know
You
stuff.
do know.
No, like we named.
I know that
one
you
of
know
our,
stuff.
I know that sounds so ghetto, don't it? I know you know stuff. No, we named one of our yearbooks Sankofa, and I believe that was like Sankofa means a look back or taking a look back to learn from the past. And now I'm finna get on Google because I want to see.
Well, respect is a noun, late 14th century. Relationship, relation, regard, consideration from Old French, respect, and directly from Latin, respectus, regard, a looking at. Literally, an act of looking back, or often at one. Just looking back. It means to look back, regard, consider. From R-E means back, to see. I mean, do you understand? Look back and see what got you here. So many people are so fucking hell-bent with this linear, unidirectional focus that they can only see what's in front of them. And they don't recognize that whatever is behind you is what paved the road you're on. They don't understand it. I can see if you was trailblazing. Trailblaze some shit for me then.
Right.
But
Right.
if you on a road that's already paved...
Say that.
You see, I can see if you off the beaten path, then I can understand. You ain't got to look back because you the one laying the pavement. But if you on a fully paved road, your ass better look back and recognize who laid that shit for you. That's respect.
My question would be though too, like, so respect we're saying is looking back and appreciating and learning from somebody who has more knowledge and more life experience from you than you, I guess you would say. So when is it okay for the youngling, the child, the person who's trying to learn from this person who they do respect, because I feel like if they didn't, they wouldn't be there. When is it okay?
This is good.
When is it okay for them to respectfully be like, okay, great, I learned from you, I looked back, but now I'm getting reprimanded because now I want to go and try to do something on my own. Now I want to kind of take what the master has taught me this. Now, when is it okay? And how do you respectfully leave the nest?
Let me show you.
Without being disrespectful, because everybody has different views
Let me give
of
it to
disrespect.
You. Let me give it to you. This is nice. That was a great question. It's exactly what Veronica said. You got to learn how to heal your own wounds. But the only way to do that is to get out there and fall down. Get out there and scrape yourself up. When you see, the respect is, okay, I'm leaving. I'm finna go out there and blaze my own trail. I'm gonna get fucked up, but then I recall the instruction that I was given. It's like a kid. My son calls me and goes, hey, Dad, that shit you told me about this school, about this community, about whoop, whoop, whoop. Damn, you was right. I said, yeah, boy, I'm from the South. I understand how that shit is down there. Dad, I didn't even know it was like that. But the way you prepared me, see, that's showing respect to Dad, because he looked back to say, wow, he reflected. Man, one time my son said something to me, because we open. My youngest kid is from another woman, right? And then I told him, I said, listen, man, I was messing around with another girl too. And he was like, word? I was like, yeah. I said, but I tell you this, I couldn't stay with her. And that's what ruined the relationship with her. I couldn't stay with her. He said, why? I said, because she lived better than y'all. She lives better than y'all. And she would have taken care of me. And I couldn't do that. Number one, I didn't want to be taken care of. Number two, I didn't want to live better than you. So if I'm at her house eating steak and you at home eating fucking ramen noodles, I'd rather eat ramen noodles with you. That motherfucker told me recently. Like, my son ain't no motherfucking joke. He told me, he said, man, let me just say this. Because I told him this years ago. He was like a sophomore or something in high school or some shit. I told him this years ago. My son was like, man, when you said that shit, he said, man, only thing that mattered to me in that moment was to understand that no matter what you was doing, you made sure that you got home. So when I woke up, you was there. I saw you. He said nothing mattered to me more than that. Mm-hmm. And from that on, that's respect. See, most motherfuckers think respect is doing all these high-minded, respectable acts. Sometimes the most respectful thing you can do is tell the truth. Yeah. Especially when you're wrong. I was wrong. I told my son about it, and he was like, man. And I didn't know what kind of impact it had on him until a few months ago. He recanted the whole shit that I told him a few years ago. See, man, do y'all understand what's happening? Am I the only one that's going to be real tonight? 844-55-1. Am I the only one that's going to, be respectful and looking back? Is that it?
Now, what you want to know, Playboy? Let's go. And by the way, I looked up Sankofa. Sankofa is from the Akan language of Ghana, and it means to reach back and get it. So it was a reaching back or a looking back that I remember, but it officially means to reach back and get it.
Go get it.
Go get it.
Pimp.
I got too many. I got a lot of questions today. Like most people, competing. Where is the line between respecting and competing? Because I feel like in this day and age, a lot of people view, it's almost like a competition. Everybody wants to try to out, no, well, you got to respect me. Well, you got to respect me. It's like a competition almost to see whose dick is bigger almost.
Well, in competition, I think the rules of respect are different. I think there should be sportsmanship. That there should be sportsmanship, like polite conduct. That is respect within competition. But in competition, it is every man or woman for themselves because that's what competition is. Well, you're competing.
But you know what?
Everything is not a competition.
Everything is not a competition.
No, I'm going to throw this to Veronica. Veronica, answer, then I'm going to speak, and then I'm going to go to the callers because the callers are online right now, 844-55-1. Veronica?
Yeah, so again, I think because we're so fragile, this whole notion of you can't look at me sideways or that's disrespectful. We look for the most small cues about respect that have nothing to do with real competition. Listen, if we want to be respected at the stage of global capitalism and build some shit and build some protection for our community on this planet, the respect that we got to get to do that is so much vaster because it requires real competition. It requires real education. It requires real accomplishment. It requires thinking about something bigger than yourself, right? We would have to be thinking about something bigger than ourselves to be able to actually effectively compete. So as long as we are stuck on, did you look at me funny, and in that respect, as long as we're in that minutia, then we rob ourselves of the opportunity to look out at the horizon at the big game where we could really get some fucking respect by winning. We leave it on the table because we're really seduced by the minutia.
Right.
Are you going to feed the ego in this moment?
Right.
We're crazy in that regard.
Right. Let me just say this. Black people, oh, Jesus. As long as we are a community of social whores, we can't know respect because to be a social whore, one must be willing to prostitute himself.
Go deep.
We can't know respect. See, when you're willing to sell your integrity, you do not respect yourself. Yep. Right? And just like they said it in The Godfather, everybody's got a price. Right? And niggas have a price. I'm just saying, as a community, we have a price. And we are all too willing to barter it. Right? You understand what I'm saying? So if as a community at large, we're willing to sell ourselves, to prostitute ourselves, build a business just to hope that somebody will come along and buy it from us, right? To make us millionaires so we don't have to work no more. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Giving up the ownership.
as long as you're a social whore, you're not going to know what respect is, because in order to prostitute yourself, you have to not sell your pussy, but sell your integrity.
There it is.
You have to sell your self-respect. That's the only way to do it. So how's your woman going to respect you if you like that? How is your man going to respect you if you're like that? I know this is ugly.
Ooh.
I know. I done ripped the scab off. Go ahead, Aarona, and then we got to get to these phone lines. 844-55-1. Get at me right now. I want to hear from you.
Well, to touch on that real quick, and also to double back to what Veronica said before, there's a sense of neediness. And when we were talking about before, neediness is what, makes you socially prostitute yourself or be usury. When you need something from somebody, and you put whatever little something is in that something that we talking about, when you need something, you're much nicer. You respect more.
Yeah.
You tend to be a little bit more humble then.
No. That's how motherfuckers come to me in the beginning. Nice. Because they need whatever it is I have. Mm-hmm. But once they figure out they got everything I have, they get to be disrespectful. And see, one thing about me, I smell that shit from day one. Like, niggas think I don't recognize. I let shit slide. But niggas are users amongst my own little crew. It's been that way. But I'm aware of it. Hey, it's all gravy, baby. Let's get to the phone lines. I want to go to Birmingham. Line 3. Larry from Birmingham. Let me just go on ahead and say War Eagle.
Roll Tide, man.
Roll Tide, man. Shit.
Now, I'm going to say hey to all the good-looking ladies out there. Oh, my goodness. Well, Zoe, I appreciate what you're saying. And see, what it is that the older, like, first off, we're not in our culture. Like, our success pattern was stopped. And see what it is, it's a difference. Now, black people, we're writing journals and diaries. White people are writing biographies. And, biography is something from somebody that's successful. A journal and a diary is something that you hide, and you don't, your family don't find it until after you die. So in other words, there's nothing to get back if our parents and grandparents are hiding useful information, not money, but useful information, how to get through these, through the storm of life. It just shows you, like, you have nothing to grab back from if your mom and dad is hiding what they've been through, what they're going through from you. You understand where I'm coming from? It's like it's nothing, and that's what respect. That's why, like, the older and younger, a lot of younger people, they crying out for I would say spiritual wealth. They crying out, because see, spiritual wealth, that's more than any little paycheck you get right or whatever. But I think that's what it is right now, because the disrespect between the older and the younger. And then I'm probably still have the white and the black and everything, but still it's like we're not being passed. Like, in a certain time period, I don't know what year it was, but somehow our success pattern was stopped. As far as not as far as money building, but as far as just passing on how to get through life and better yourself. And like the older people telling you the mistakes they made, so you won't make them, and for you to do better and be more successful than they were.
Wow. Hey, man, I appreciate the information. Hey, thank you so much for calling in and sharing. Hey, if you want to bring your town in and you want to share your definition of respect, call me, 844-55-1. Is it possible for people who aren't bereft of knowledge of self and a culture to show and give and earn respect? If you don't know who the fuck you are, what you respecting? Jews have respect among each other because the cultural ties are so strong. Chinese, Asians, Koreans, the cultural ties are strong. So there's a base there to be respected.
I think that's interesting. He's kind of talking into the level of inheritance. How we've left, for all the intents and purposes, no inheritance for our future children as a whole, as a people. We just always come out here and do for self and figure it out for self, by ourselves. And we'll tell our few little family members, but not across the board as a culture. I think that's interesting.
Man, that's a cold piece of work. That's some gangster crippin' right there.
Gangsta crippin' right there.
Listen, I want to go to New York. Line 4, Monkey Bone. Monkey Bone. Speak on it, brother.
Yo, what's rocking, Zo?
What's up, man?
Man, son, I need help with this. My girl stayed disrespecting me. She always disrespects me.
Speak on it.
Saturday, she called me over to cook her something to eat, so I'll make her my best dish. 20 minutes in the kitchen. Freeze, straight ice, guava juice. I make her the best dish I ever made in my life. Fried bologna and cheese with some french fries. And she goes,
Stop it. You are playing.
Damn, that sucks. Hey, if that's all you can do, if that's the best you can do, I guess that's the best you can do.
what do I do, Zo?
You need to take a cooking class. This is not Zoe. This is Miss Tabor. This is Whitney. Maybe take a cooking class. Buy a box of macaroni and cheese. Roll to Ralph's and grab, one of them chickens already made. Put it on a nice platter. Lie to her and say, hey, I cooked you a chicken, boo. Maybe. I do not know what to do with that.
You need to get on Yelp and have somebody deliver
Pinterest? Oh, Postmates. They can deliver anything.
Yep.
I'm just, whew.
Oh,
What
and
if she
Jessica,
said
I know you listening.
What if she said
I know you listening.
disrespectful? What did she say
Say that
was
again, Veronica?
disrespectful?
She wants to know.
yeah,
She wants to know. She wants to know what she said that was disrespectful.
She go, what the fuck is this? I didn't ask for this.
Then eat it if she, look.
But let's add some validity to this now. Do you know if she allergic to bologna? Like, do you know what she eats? Or
It's baloney.
It's in her fridge.
How you gonna feed her some motherfucking first grade lunch kit? You should have went and got her a Lunchable. She would have respected
Game
that
time.
more.
Put a bow on it. Put a bow on a Lunchable. I would have been happy as a clam.
it's just not sounding like you tried,
That's
monkey.
so funny though. I'm just saying.
But hey, I will say this: the level of respect you show is usually the level of respect you receive.
So when you get a burnt bologna sandwich when she has to cook, don't be mad. You feel me?
Or if she just don't call you no more.
I eat her dry Spanish chicken.
Ooh.
I tip her.
Oh shit!
But no, can I just be 1,000? Like, I guess we're goofing around for a little bit, but realistically, like, for you to actually go and cook for her, she should be a little bit appreciative. And then, I mean, she had every right to clown your bologna sandwich. I'm not gonna lie, but you
Yeah,
have
Jessica,
you
Did
have.
she?
I know you listening.
I mean, but I'm saying, like,
I don't know.
If
Did
a
he?
man, look, if he can't
If that's
cook,
all
if
the
that's all he
ingredients
can
they
do,
had was bologna, cheese, French fries. Did you put a tomato on it?
Look, Zoe's like, what kind of butter did you use? Like,
I'm just saying.
did you grill it? Did you? No. My thing is, though, you demonstrated respect for her by actually going and cooking for her. So my thing is, how does one deal with that kind of respect, Zoe? How could she respectfully be cool with him?
You could
Listen, he offered a hood Lunchable, as Ronan Martin said, a hood Lunchable with burnt in bolognas. And hey, she should have showed him love for that.
If
No,
he
she
w-
shouldn't.
You could have cut it into a heart.
To hell with
Next
that.
time, cut it into a heart and be like, girl, I'm giving you my heart. That's good. I would have cried if a nigga would make me a burnt bologna sandwich cut with the crust cut into a heart. Shoot. You got me.
Cut into a heart, now you got something.
Game
Because now
over.
we getting into arts
Hey,
and crafts.
Monkey Bone. Monkey Bone, hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate the call.
All right, brother.
Oh, Veronica
All right,
wants to
bro.
talk. Oh, Veronica want to ask him a question.
Just Veronica, ask it. He'll hear it off the air. Just go ahead.
No,
Veronica,
he needed to
go ahead.
ask. He needed to answer.
Veronica,
he
you,
needed to
you,
answer
you didn't want him to
directly.
answer that, did you? Really? Did you?
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, I think this is an important question for all the listeners. It's like if someone is showing you disrespect in your life, what is the pattern of disrespect? Because if it's one thing to sort of disagree, right? Again, we went back to the distinction between respecting and agreeing. When you are in a relationship with someone, you may not agree on things. Like, she may not agree that, that bologna and cheese is like the best thing. It doesn't matter. So if you're looking at it as disrespect, what's the pattern of disrespect, and what are the things that they disrespect you about? Is it fundamentally things that they just don't like and get irritated by, or do they just constantly poke you and undermine you about things that you have going on? I just see it as, I don't know, I see it as a little bit different. So I'm just curious about the pattern of disrespect.
Well, to me,
how he clocked it.
To me, and I'm just going to give a couple examples. To me, marginalization of your contribution is disrespect. Right? Listen, just go back to fucking the Bible, Cain and Abel. Right? God gave them both a test. Abel went and got the best of everything. In other words, he took care in his presentation, right? For God. Okay, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that, I'm going to get the best of this, I'm going to get the best of that, the best lamb, the best this, the best of that. And God was pleased. Right? Cain was on some old slap together type shit. And God was like, man, get this bullshit out of here. So again, sometimes the presentation, right? It'll trump whatever the quality of the ingredients are if we understand your intent is to do your very best. Sometimes your intent is to shut people up. And in your attempt to shut people up, the energy is wrong, the presentation is wrong, and then it winds up backfiring.
Like it sounds like in his case.
Right.
Trying to appease her. Just
trying to appease or placate. And really, for women pick that shit up. So
my thing
Whitney.
is he showing her disrespect by, I mean, he sounds like an intelligent young man. I feel like he can read probably and pick up a book and learn how to bake some chicken or whatever. So maybe she might have taken him making her a crusty little bologna sandwich as being disrespectful. Like, so I'm not deserving of an actual nice meal. You could have went to the grocery store and asked your mom, call your mama, man. She know how to cook.
I mean, let's all be 100. Let's be 100. We talking about bologna sandwiches, but you can make spaghetti by boiling water.
Word.
You just boil some water and throw them little noodles in there. When it's done, kill the water. Throw some tomatoes on it.
You do not know they struggle.
That is basic. Listen,
you can't
$4.
You can't have
$4
spaghetti with just noodles.
You can't
put some butter and some.
But I'm saying spaghetti noodles and the regular tomato sauce. That is bootleg regular tomato. That's regular spaghetti. That's low budget. It's like $4 if you got a Ralph's card.
We're officially at the Food Network.
I'm just saying. So I think it definitely was the food choice of, the ghetto Lunchable, if you will, to go, dang, I ain't even worth you trying to learn how to make some spaghetti. Mm-hmm. You couldn't do fish sticks, my dude. Fish sticks.
Disrespect. That is
Look
disrespectful.
at y'all. This sounds like just this sounds like disrespect to me. You guys are disrespecting his whatever he had. He did the best he could.
I don't think so.
Y'all disrespecting. I can see if he had filet mignon in there or something.
We talking about fish sticks. We ain't talking about filet mignon. He didn't try.
Let me get to the phone lines real quick. Y'all tripping. Hustle, line 1, holla at me.
Yo.
Hi, Hustle.
What's up?
All right, what's up, bro? You know we got to get you in here, right?
Man. Yeah, no doubt. What's up, Zoe? What's up, Aarona, Whitney, VC?
What up?
So, hey, man, first I want to say I was listening to your show earlier, man. I just appreciate what you're putting out here, man. I just wanted to say that. And I've been trying to share with everybody. Everybody else that's listening, try to share the show with other people, man, because just like a few weeks ago, my boy was telling me how he picked up Black Mastery and he picked up your book and everything. So, everybody put the word out.
Man, I appreciate that. Seriously, I appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So about the topic, though, I've been exploring the idea of self-respect being the only respect. And it's making more sense to me as I think about it, because it's kind of like it ties into the whole idea of treating others as you treat yourself. And really, when you look at people that are disrespectful, it's almost like they feel as though that person deserves to be treated that way, because if they were in that position, they would treat themselves that way. You see what I mean?
God damn, man.
So,
Slapping it.
yeah, it's kind of a way. I feel like I just kind of look at myself and say, what do I deserve just as a person? Not entitled, but what do I deserve? And if I could start as a baseline at that, whenever I encounter somebody else, I just try to be considerate of whatever they're going through and how I would want to be treated in that situation. So that's how I look at respect.
Man, that's hot monkey grease.
That's dope.
Aarona had something similar to that. Tell him.
You answered one of our questions earlier, and you ain't even know it. We said,
You ain't even know it?
You ain't even know it. It was, why do the most disrespectful people demand respect? And you answered it beautifully. It's because they don't respect themselves.
Because if you don't know how to respect yourself, how in the hell else are you going to be able to respect other people?
And that's why you so needy with the respect. You need the respect because you don't feel like you get it. You don't feel like you worthy.
Listen, I had a motherfucker tell me I'm prideful. And I've never been around a person who is so hard on me to do better. And where before I could get by on my pride alone. Right? You know how a person can stick their chest out and walk around like a peacock, but they really ain't a bird.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And because they fooled other people because they strut and squawk like a peacock, that they've even fooled themselves into believing that they're a peacock. And when you come around a person like me, I'm going to say, you know you're not a bird. And they go, well, wait a minute. Then you get pushback from me. I had a person on my team tell me this. I'm used to getting by on my pride and confidence alone. And what I said was this. I told him the same thing I told my son. I said, listen, you was a star of your high school basketball team in Santa Monica. You about to go down south in the SEC where everybody on that team is the star of some team. You about to go down there as an 18-year-old where they're grown-ass men. I said, son, you're going to have to balance your confidence with competence. Confidence without competence is just a fucking hot air balloon. And you're going to get yourself in a situation you're going to get in the door with the confidence for sure. But when it get down to the nitty gritty and they say, hey, nigga, how you lubricate these joints and nuts and bolts and how does this shit work? And you don't know, and you show them that you lack the competence to make this shit crack, they're going to be like, God damn, we were fooled by an imposter. Your ass is fired. Now, the reality is you want somebody that can call you out, Wizard of Oz ass motherfucker. You want somebody to pull the curtain back and go, hey, you a fraud. You're not really a wizard, but let me show you how to be one. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Dope.
That's respect. That's who you respect. If you the Wizard of Oz, respect the motherfucker who teaches you magic.
Stop being an abracadabra.
So you can stop faking it. I was like, well, I was told to fake it until I make it. Well, you're going to fake it until you make it up to a particular point. But then there's going to come a time when it's show and prove. Here, turn the mic on, go do it. Well, I thought this meant, no, nigga, it don't. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Abracadabra ass nigga.
Abracadabra. Hey, Hustle, man, I appreciate you for coming in, smashing that shit, man. That was gangster.
No doubt, no doubt. Much love to y'all.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Bye, Hustle.
Let's keep going. Line 3, DC.
It's going to get better than that. That was dope right there.
It's Mike. Mike.
Hey, what's up, Pimp?
Pimp. What's up, Mike? What's up, Pimp?
What's up, man? It's another brilliant topic, though, but I'm going to weigh in. I just think, like, people in this society, they think that respect is something that you have to like, but really, respect could be an enemy or a rival. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see somebody like at their lowest and see them like kind of become resilient from that, you can respect somebody like that. Like I don't know if y'all seen that Steve Jobs movie, the Apple movie.
Nope.
Oh no, but I already know his story. So go ahead, brother. I understand what you're saying.
You remember the part when Steve Jobs got fired, and the part when Bill Gates, he despised this man. That was his rival. But when Apple fired Steve Jobs and Bill Gates gave him $130 million to build the company back up, like he didn't like him, but it was just, he respected that man's integrity to give him the money to keep the rivalry going.
But this is
like,
beautiful.
Us as black people in the community, once we declare war with each other, it's like the point of no return. Just because you don't like a motherfucker, you gotta respect him. I respect integrity. Like I don't like Floyd Mayweather, but I respect what that man has done.
No
you know what
question.
I'm saying? Like I don't like Tom Brady, but I respect that man's integrity. Sometimes respect ain't got to be somebody you like.
No question.
It's just their integrity and their resiliency that you respect. Y'all agree?
Hell, man, stop it. You just smashed one over the fence again. Listen, you ain't got to like the person that you respect. That was big. And the Steve Jobs, Bill Gates movement was a perfect example. Hella rivals, Apple and Microsoft. But guess what? Here's $130 million. Get that shit cracking. Without that $130 million, we don't get the iMac, the first little portable computer iMac. We don't get the first iPod. We don't get none of that. That bread got them back in the game. And that came from a rival. This is what black people lack. We be mad at each other, butthurt at each other. We can't even thank the people who put us on. We can't even show proper respect to the people who put us on.
See, but the genius in that was he gave him the money because he knows that that's his muse, whether he liked him or not. Like what Steve Jobs said in his commencement speech at Stanford University. He was saying, if I never came up with the sans serif type and all of that typography, Microsoft would have never had that. They stole it from Apple. So probably no computer would have that type of typography today.
Right.
Just like that's true. The other stuff, Steve.
He keeping me in business so he can stay in business.
Bill Gates knew he had more fruit in him. He
But
couldn't
here's
just
the
let
question.
that fruit die.
Do black people do that?
No.
That's the real. So
We got to choose. It's got to be Michael Jackson or Prince. It can't be both, nigga.
Team Michael.
You got to. It can only be one great one. We can't have multiple great ones. It's got to be Jay-Z or Nas. It's got to be Drake or Meek Mill or J. Cole. It just can't be everybody.
Everybody.
We don't have no super friends in the Justice League, in the black community.
Let me get to line 6 real quick. Brian from Miami. Brian, you're on the Voice of Reason. Holler at us, bro.
Yeah, I'll just say, for me, I don't start from the position of, you have to earn my respect. I think it's pretty, audacious for folks to say, you have to earn my respect, but you don't know me from a can of paint, so how can you respect me? And you just met me. So for me, when I meet people, no one starts at a deficit. You have respect off top. And then from there, that's when you start losing it, depending on how you act.
Hey, brother,
You know what I mean? So,
I'm with you. I'm like first semester. Everybody start off with an A. I love it, brother.
Exactly.
Good point. We appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Whitney?
I have another question. So as far as the respect and learning from your elders and looking back and respecting the knowledge that you're gaining, how does one repay the person who taught them all of these things that they need to be so appreciative of?
That's a good question.
So, you know what I mean? Like, how do you repay, and when do you know that that's good enough?
Wow.
Like, that's a good enough payment. Like, I appreciate you. I said it.
Let me say this.
For myself, I'm just going to say this real quick. For myself, it would be the success of my pupil. That would be enough thanks for if I taught Dean how to jump rope and now he's the jump roping champ. He don't got to pay me millions. He ain't got to do nothing. He doesn't have to bow down and not be great. He can just keep winning. And I'm like, you know what? I appreciate it because I'm the one who helped show you that. So that's good enough reward.
Let me give you this, because not all of your pupils are going to be successful.
Yeah, that's
So what trumps success is appreciation.
Mhm.
See, it's the same thing. Like when you have a child, you'll understand, right? Sometimes your kid ain't going to, you could say, I got this placard that I gave my son in the 10th grade. I said, okay, now all the schools is on your ass. His grades was fucked up. 9th grade was terrible. 10th grade was terrible. But he had 18 offers that summer from the 10th grade going to junior year.
Mhm.
So I created this placard of about 25 different rules called Project 4.0 for junior year. He didn't hit the 4.0. He got 3.5. And to date, that was his best year in high school. Because the senior year, he fell off again. But he had enough credits and all this other stuff that he was well past NCAA qualification. But for me, I know just because you set a standard, they ain't gonna always hit it. But what I appreciate more than anything else is their effort in trying to get it done. So I appreciate the effort. I appreciate them showing appreciation for being stewarded. I appreciate humility. I appreciate openness and willingness to learn more. I appreciate accountability. When somebody step up and say, you know what? My bad. I don't appreciate arrogance during that process. Like you in trouble. You're in need. You don't get to be arrogant while you're in need. My son called me the other day and said, listen, Dad, I want to show these people the rebel in me. I said, check this out, brother. The only way you can stand for something is if you first have a platform to stand on. I said, boy, you don't even have a fucking platform. So how you going to stand up and start barking and getting angry and disappointed? I said, boy, you got work to do. You have to earn their respect. You have to, more importantly, got to earn their ear.
They might not even be listening to you.
Dude, you don't even have a platform for them to even hear your voice, to even hear your complaints. Before you can stand for something, you first have to build a platform so you can stand on it.
I want to speak to Whitney's point real quick about how do you know when you've paid them off enough? Well, number one, if you have taught them and they are, take them with you. That's one way you repay them. You take them with you. You make an effort to better their situation based upon the fruits of the labor that they've given to you, the fruits of the labor that you ate from. However, you don't want it to get into, I want to say Carlito's Way. Was that the movie with Sean Penn and Al Pacino? Okay, you don't want to get into that situation where he repaid a debt, right? But Sean Penn kept reminding him that, I helped you out. I helped you out. So like the whole movie, he felt that guilt of he did help me when I was down and out. But he had changed, his character had changed since he had helped him out. Now he was a trifling dude. But all he had, the only seed he had was to keep reminding him, hey, you remember I helped you out. You remember I helped you out. Mm-hmm. And that guilt shackled the main character, and shackled him throughout the whole movie, where he kept finding himself in even more deep trouble trying to be loyal to someone who once was loyal to him, who once did help him out. Sometimes when people's character has changed, you have to know when it's time to respectfully cut them off.
Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm.
His character changed.
Lord, how did a bogo show?
And you can't take everybody with you.
You can't.
You're going to stifle your own growth by trying to take every single person with you that helped you. We all need to use each other and help each other grow. I feel like that's why we talk about it all the time, how Black people don't do that enough, and that's why we're still on the bottom of the totem pole, because we don't do that enough.
But you also got way too many people standing there complaining because they want to be a part of the entourage and eat the caviar but not contribute.
Oh yeah.
Say word. You want to be at the after party, but you ain't did no work.
You what's the Boondocks? You Grandpa Freeman. Grandpa Freeman always want to claim he was a part of every great moment of history. He fought for everything. He lied about everything because he want to be in the know, and he want the free tickets to go see Obama. He want everything. But Grandpa Freeman ain't did nothing. He ain't did nothing but He ain't did that for raise Huey. That's all he did. He sat in his rocking chair.
Yes.
And just sat there.
Yes.
And was a bump on a log.
Just a log.
Him and Uncle Ruckus both.
Both.
You got to be an active member of society. You just can't be. You can't be a gazer. You got to be a participant. You got to put some blood, sweat, and tears into that thing and scrape your knees and get what Veronica calls battle scars.
Yes.
Because if you ain't got the scars, we ain't going to respect you.
Yes.
We need a tattoo from that journey to tell us that you didn't been there, that you didn't done that. You ain't Dr. Dre.
Yeah, no. Dr. Gay. Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate that quick praise break. But listen, it's important, man, for us to work together. And when we work together, respect the work that we do. Sometimes, in order to become great, you have to respect what it is that you're doing. It's hard to respect what you're doing if you're not in the moment while you're doing it. Sometimes we're projecting outward to the end result, and we wind up doing it wrong because we didn't respect the moment we needed to be in order to get it right. That's why sometimes we have to go back and do that shit again. You understand what I'm saying, Veronica?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's really true. You know, I coach and mentor a lot of people, and people miss their moments because they're not present. They're not paying attention to what they need to be paying attention to sometimes to get the result. Because, you know, when I work with people, it's very step by step by step. You know, success is a very specific path. It's very specific. It's very narrow. It's not wide. It's not a whole bunch of stuff. It's a few key things. But if we don't sit down and really, and we're not present to see what the real path is, we can miss the whole thing, even with great mentorship.
Man.
We can miss it.
We can miss it. I believe it. God damn it. Let's get Miss Lips in here. Line 3, Arizona. Speak on it, Miss Lips.
She moved? I thought she was in Georgia.
Hey, y'all.
What
hey,
up,
Miss
Boot
Lips? What up? Yes.
What's up, sexy eyes?
Ah,
I think that's you, definitely.
Hey, I'll take
know.
it.
Is
I'll
that
take
green? Are brown eyes sexy? I don't know.
Pretty brown eyes. They had a whole song about it.
Okay, like the head, here it go.
I know.
Miss Lips, what's happening?
Man, we are crabs in a bucket in that way. I think if we have so many type of black people, we don't know who we are, honestly. We don't know if we master black people or we Freemason black people or we just ratchet as black people.
Right.
I mean, there's so many black people with barcodes, you know, that's on them. And we're not even going to get on the coon as black people that their whole setup is to keep a black man and black woman down, you know, because they made it, you know, being obedient, you know. But I think as a black woman in my 30s, I have to be educated and I have to play the game like they say, you know, because I do work a 9 to 5. But I am a conscious black woman also, and I will tell the truth. You know, I work with a whole bunch of white people, and I'll be telling them they ratchet as shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have no problem letting people know who I am and what they are as well. But as far as bringing us up, I think we need to acknowledge who we are, you know, because I'm not better than a rich person, and I'm not better than a poor person. You know, I'm in between. You understand what I'm saying? I'm wealthy in the aspect of me having or being conscious. Some people I just don't have that gift, or I'm wealthy in being intuitive. You know, I'm a healer because I make people laugh. You know what I'm saying? You are a gifted individual. When Veronica is gifted, Whitney is gifted. I mean, whoever's on this radio station is gifted. I think we need to start bringing each other up and letting people know that they're not gifted. You know, you have all these white people that go to Africa and study us, where we have it internally, our gifts, and we don't even know it. You know, so I just think we don't know who we are yet. I think we're just in a black ass matrix.
A black ass matrix. Hey, listen, I appreciate you. You know that, right?
Yeah, I appreciate y'all.
That's real.
You know, every time you call in and you share this kind of information, I mean, it takes the show to another level, and we appreciate every time you reach out. You don't reach out as much as you used to, but please continue to do so.
I've been working. I'm on the clock. I'm trying to get this bread. I'm trying to get those T-shirts, Veronica Conway. I'm trying to be an entrepreneur. I say before I'm 35, I'll be a millionaire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire, and I'm going to be a conscious millionaire.
I love it.
You
I love
understand
it. I love it. Thank you so much, sweetie. We'll talk to you hopefully this week. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Let me just say this. You guys know the controversy that's been happening. I talked about this months ago on my What Morning Show when I talked about how all of the textbooks in America are controlled and distributed content and production-wise out of Texas, right? All of the textbooks that get circulated around the country manufactured in Texas. And it came out in the news that they were going to change the narrative of slavery. Now, they've changed the narrative to say that the Africans were brought over here as immigrant workers.
Shut up.
Immigrants like Irish people who came over. Yay! Enslaved. You feel me? They changed that, and now they're getting hella backlash.
Good.
But the reason why I highlight this, why would we expect anything different? That's a form of disrespect. To lie about the story. You forcibly went over there and took people and enslaved them and brought them over here and treated them as fucking cattle. It was chattel slavery. And it was brutal, it was violent, it was traumatic, and you want to turn it into, oh, they were immigrant workers. Well, guess what? Why would you expect anything different? They've never really respected you. Ever. But you know why? Now, just fast forward today. Unless we come together as one body, just like the Latino brothers came against Trump, they'll get to keep writing lies, right? We have to show a sense of unified respect for ourselves before they ever will. They just rewrote history the way they wanted to. And I guarantee you, if we don't make a stink out of it, it'll die down, right? It'll die down, and then it'll be in the goddamn textbooks from here on out. And then the next generations will see African Americans who are here as immigrant workers. That's how it's written in the textbook. They get to disrespect us because we have no respect for each other. Now, is that wrong? Is that an incorrect assessment?
No.
I mean, the fact that I can go back and ask that damn question, who do black men and women respect more, themselves or other ethnicities? And you can say, oh, well, the other ethnicities must have power, they must have money, they must have this, they must have that. But no. A skin color doesn't have power or ethnicity. So we can go back to the self-inflicted disrespect of colorism. A light-skinned nigga with green eyes is somehow cuter than a brown man with brown eyes. Yeah, that was taught to us, but that doesn't mean we have to perpetuate it. At some point, we got to stand up and go, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. And the only way to do that is with knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only way to say that's bullshit is with knowledge.
And how do we respectfully say that's bullshit? Do we have to respectfully do that? How do you respect somebody who won't help you grow? Like you know what I'm saying? The slave owners probably think that we're helping you. I remember my grandma told me when her tribe got conquered in the 70s or in Washington State, used to beat her for speaking her own language in the United States, and she was supposed to respect them because they're helping her get to another level, to get better. How do you respect somebody like that?
That's what I call...
They don't respect you at all.
That's what I call pathological altruism. It's a form of insanity thinking that it's empathy. Mm-hmm. It's what the Christians did when they showed up with the missionaries. Mm-hmm. Now give me your holy books, Mayans, Incas, and all the other native indigenous folk, and we're going to burn these and give you the Bible. That's called pathological altruism. That shit ain't helping. That's hurting. That's wounding. Am I right, Aronda?
There's two things going on in there. Number one, to Whitney, sometimes you got to take respect. Respect is to be taken. If you don't stand up and respect yourself, then they're not going to respect you. You have to take respect. And that's how you make people respect you.
Say more. Give me an example of how you take it. Say more.
For example, if you're in a social situation and somebody is talking to you and they're saying things to you that aren't quite nice things, you stop them right where they are and you say, I don't know what I did to make you talk to me like that, but whatever I did, I apologize for it. Now you need to stop. And they're going to go, what? Yeah, I don't know why you think it's okay for you to talk to me like this. It's not okay. And I need you to stop. That right there is standing up for yourself. And in that moment, I bet you they'll think twice before they continue saying whatever they're saying, because either you're crazy for cutting them off and they don't want to see how crazy you really are, or two, they know that they can't push you and bully you, and the respect is. The second thing, we was talking about Christians and pathological altruism. The problem with people in general, across like religion, spirituality, and all of that, people have the tendency to deify human beings and humanize God. People have the tendency to try to make themselves all powerful, almighty, all knowing. I know what I'm doing. I know what's good for you. I know what's right. I know. But then they don't humble themselves or respect the fact that they didn't create this universe themselves. The sun doesn't rise and set because the sun listens to them. The sun rises and sets because that's what it does, because that's the design, because that is the nature. And you aren't smart enough or brave enough or omnipotent or anything to do that. You can't even explain to me why we still got sand.
Yeah.
All this, billions, we didn't have dinosaurs. Like, forget we didn't have dinosaurs. We didn't have the Cold War freezing. We got sand and trees and stuff still. Where the fuck they keep getting the trees from? You don't make it. How can you explain that? How can you explain life forms continuing to be produce over and over again? I did a show in Queens like 2 nights ago, and it was a show that was based around religion. It was different people of different religions, making jokes or whatever. And I was like, I don't respect atheists that pay rent. Because what are you doing? If you don't believe that there is a purpose to all of this and this is a scam, why are you being good? Who are you trying to impress? Fuck them bills and live your life. How you understand the concept of an apartment, whereas there is a price to pay in order to occupy this space? There's a price to pay, somebody to answer to, and I call them the landlord. But there's just no way possible that could be true for the whole universe.
Wow.
That's true for jail. You did some shit, and now to occupy this space, there's a price to pay and somebody to answer to. But there's no way that's true. I'm like, if nothing else, God exists so we can have good cum noises, okay?
Wow.
When you say, oh God, you know I'm having a good time, but you can't say, nothing, nobody, nothing. You might get insulted and leave.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
Hey, listen, let's do this really quickly. That was Aarona's wrap up. Let's go to let's go to Whitney. I want to get Whitney's final summation.
Are we finaling it up? We're summing it all up. Huh? Respect. Honestly, I just feel like people really need to learn that their actions do affect other people, and there are 9.3 billion other people in this world. Millions. I don't know how many.
7 billion.
There's a couple people in this world. You're not the only one. So people just need to realize that your actions do affect people. So just be mindful and be careful of what you do and what you say, because guess what? Somebody else's growth or self-worth or anything, it's not always about you. You got to kind of pull yourself out of your own, I don't even know what the word is. You got to pull yourself out of your own reality and realize that, you know what? Yeah, you are a pretty awesome person, but this person is special too, and we all need to lean on each other and use each other at times. So respect each other. That's it.
Wow. Hey, Veronica, it's your time to chime.
Yeah, I think we have to take responsibility for our impact. When we travel through life, we're always having an impact, large or small, on each other, on the world, on the universe. We're always having an impact, even when we think we don't. Like, have you ever tried to walk into a meeting late, and you try to creep in, tiptoe in like you ain't got no impact? No, even you tiptoeing in has an impact. So You're always having an impact all the time. And so the most adult, humane thing that we can do is take some responsibility for it. And when you do that, not only does it stop you from, you consider whether you're going to be disrespectful to someone, but if you really take responsibility for your impact, you'll have a bigger vision. In other words, you decide to impact the world in a much more powerful and meaningful way, in a much more significant way when you actually decide to be responsible for it. So I think that that's something we have to consider.
Excellent. Man, this was a great show. I love having these kind of conversations because this is how you flesh out ideas. You know, first off, there's moral ambiguity, right? What is moral to one person may not be moral to another. And when that gray area appears, this is where I think conversation is important, right? But the conversation has to be objective. It has to be non-judgmental. And it has to come from a space of openness where I'm willing to hear where you're coming from without judgment, right? In terms of earning respect, you know, I always advocate sports because sports teaches how to, especially team sports, right? It teaches you how to play well with others. It teaches you responsibility. It teaches you to do what is yours to do, right? And when you take the metaphor of sports, you can apply it to relationships. You have something that is yours to do in that relationship, and they have something that is theirs to do. You respect what they're there for. They respect what you're there. And what that means is you consider why they are there. They consider you, like why you are there. And that's how you can just say, you know what, I may not know why we're here, but I know that there's a purpose for us to be here, and I'm going to respect your journey while you're here, and you respect mine. Honor it, appreciate it, the whole 9 yards. And that's pretty much it. I love this show, man. My God, I love you. This was a good one right here. And I love sharing. So listen, this was the start of the week. We had a great Monday, 2 shows today. Listen, we'll be back Wednesday with another heater. I promise we done worked out some shows that are coming up that's going to be crazy. So stay tuned. Hot Button Radio, Dash Radio, the voice of reason. It's what we do. I appreciate you guys. Oh, by the way, if you have, Google Play, get my app, ZoWilliams. Download the free ZoWilliams app. Also, don't forget the relationship dismount. Only 225 copies remaining. Go get you a copy now, or they're going to be gone out of print at IamZoWilliams.com. With that said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you guys Wednesday. Deuces.